why don't you take a look at our chamber Facebook page, see if it pops up.
Okay, it didn't yet, but I'm looking.
Yeah, it's preparing right now on my end, so it should say live. Yeah, it says live on Facebook now,
Yes.
so.
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'll hit refresh on my end. Yeah, all right, so it's saying live on there. Now you might,
I'm live.
you were able to share it to Halas Farm Facebook?
I'm gonna do it. No, it just says watch video. Should I go to watch video?
Yeah, and then you might be able to,
Because it doesn't let me share. Right. Okay, hang on. Oh, share.
Live on there. Now you might,
Share. Wait,
right, so you're gonna need to.
I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna do it. No, it just says watch video. Should I go to watch video?
There's a delay.
Yeah, and then you might be able to,
Because it doesn't let me share. Right. Okay, hang on. Oh, share.
Now you might,
Share. Wait. Oh, it's not letting me. I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna do it. No, it just says watch video. Should I go to watch video?
yeah, so you should put the volume down on your laptop there. Perfect.
Say that again, PJ?
Yeah, I
Okay.
said Mara just had to take the volume down on her laptop. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
It's not.
All right, we're gonna go live now.
It's not-
Mike, on the,
Yeah, it's not letting her share, but let's go. We're rolling. Let's go.
all right, we'll go on our end. Just give me 10 seconds. I'll cue you when we're live.
Okay. Oh, the internet connection is unstable, it says. Damn it.
We need to go to the phone in the office.
PJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yep.
That's why we
are live now.
We good? Okay.
Yep. All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is PJ Prunty. I'm the president and CEO of the Greater Danbury Chamber of Commerce. I am thrilled to have Mike Halas with us today. Mike is the owner of Halas Farms in Danbury. Mike, thanks for taking time out of your day. We appreciate you joining us. First off, how are you and the family doing?
Hi, PJ. Thank you for having me on. And everybody here is doing well. And how about in your family?
Same. We are doing well. The two young boys are keeping us busy, that's for sure. And my wife is she's working her tail off at the city of Danbury in the health department. So all is well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. So for those of you who aren't aware that are joining us today, the deep roots that you and your family have in the Danbury community and really beyond. Can you share a little bit with us about your connection to Danbury and the family history?
Sure, PJ. So I am the third generation here at our family business. I was the youngest of 10 children. Our original farm was started up on Bear Mountain Road in 1925 by my grandfather, and which is currently known as Bear Mountain Park. And my dad continued that on after World War II, after it was sold, and continued on home delivery of milk, and then went back into the farming when this roadside stand came available back in the late 60s. So it progressed into what it's known today as a farm market, greenhouse, nursery operation. And I took the reins when I graduated college and never looked back.
Excellent. There you go. Never look back. So that's an incredible story. I like hearing that about the family history in Danbury. So one of the few industries that were deemed critical and essential during COVID-19 were, and still is, food and agricultural business. Now, what shift have you seen during these challenging times?
So we kind of thought quick on our feet about where there was a need, and the produce is something that runs deep in our roots here. So even though our produce isn't ready out of the fields yet, we acted fast, and we kind of modeled our farm share that many of the greater Danbury community has become familiar with over the last decade. And so we modeled the produce boxes to be picked up for curbside service. Back, I think we closed our doors officially on that Monday, March 24th. So just to give everybody a sense of security, and that they know that everything that we were doing on our end was meeting the sanitary practices, and unfortunately we weren't able to allow anybody back in the store. And but with that shift, we've adapted, and we've kind of seen a new wave, I believe, that'll that may be here to stay for a while, with customers calling in their produce orders and having the ability to come, know that it's safely handled and delivered right into the back of their car or delivered right to their home.
I appreciate that. And then for those that are joining us, if you have any questions that you'd like to submit to Mike, feel free to use the chat feature down the bottom of your screen. You can send something our way, and we'll hopefully be able to get it into the queue for the questions. So Mike, let's talk about the need to adapt. As a business owner, the most critical skill is to be able to adapt to the conditions that are changing. How, you mentioned this a little bit, but what are some of the other measures that you and the team at Halas Farms have had to do to adapt as a result of COVID-19?
Well, initially, all my family members here, my wife and my 3 children, really have stepped up to, been able to come in 7 days a week and 12, 15 hours a day. And they're really, really working hard. And it's really made me very proud to see everybody that stepped up in my family to be able to accommodate of how we've had to adapt. And how we've had to adapt was that people aren't having the ability to come in and pick what they need. So we have to do that. And they call in an order, and we were able to source good produce, and
Sure.
Local obviously in our zone is just starting to ramp up now. So we try to source everything from this country best we can, and the biggest thing is that we keep it fresh and keep it rolling. So it's been a lot of hard work on our team's part here, with the close family members that we've been able to have, work with us. And it's just been, we came up with some set recipe boxes so that people can choose from, and they call those in, or they can add on whatever we have. So the adapting part also has been with the restrictions. We have masks, we have gloves, we're disinfecting the place on a daily basis. And actually, I shouldn't even say on a daily basis, many times a day.
Sure. Yeah.
Just so everybody, can feel secure that they're, going to be able to get safely delivered produce and whatever else we have available here.
Yeah, my wife and I just moved to the northern part of Danbury, right? It's basically kind of like in your backyard.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that 12-hour, 15-hour day, 7 days a week. That doesn't seem like that's always been the case for you and your family. So, that just COVID-19, I don't think has changed those hours for you and your family. So let's talk about farming and growing food is obviously something that is not new to you, clearly. Do you feel that the pandemic growing food takes on a whole new meaning now?
BJ, that's a great point. And yes, I have, I feel a sense of responsibility to be able to provide for our local community here the best possible produce that we can grow. And it was before my oldest was born, Michael. He's 21 now, so we started organic practices. So I feel that I had that sense and need that people were looking for that, and just have a responsibility to be able to service people and know that what we're going to give them is the same thing that I would give to my family. And so this whole pandemic that's happened to us here, I think people really are finding a sense of their roots, and they hear about their ancestors, their parents, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, of how they grew up, and the backyard gardens and the fresh produce and the fresh eggs from the chickens and whatever animals that they could source food off of. So I think that's taken a full circle, and it's really, I think these younger generations are appreciating, having a sense of appreciation of how they hear the stories from their grandparents and their great-grandparents. And it's really taken full form here. And like I said, I feel responsible to be able to provide that to as many people as we can. And it really, it makes me feel good inside that people really are appreciating. This country has so many wonderful resources that so many of us don't even realize that we tap into every day without even knowing it. And agriculture is so wonderful in this country. And hopefully this will be a good, shot in the arm and stimulate all of us to appreciate that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I could not agree more. That was very well said too. So, as more and more people are working remotely, yes, there's been the phase one started today with some folks being allowed back to work, but the reality is sheltering in place will go on for several weeks and weeks to come, months to come. And of course, practicing social distancing. Can you share why communicating with your customers and the community via social media, which your team has done a tremendous job, why is that more important now, more than ever?
Another great point, PJ. The social media has just been such a large piece of our whole marketing campaign here. And it is it's obviously the most important tool, I think, to communicate with everybody and let everyone know what we're doing here, what's going on. And I'm very fortunate that we have Mara on board, Mara Castro, that does our social media and marketing. And as you know, PJ, I think you've commented several times about what a wonderful job she does. Well, and it's been such a wonderful way to communicate with the community, to let them know exactly what is going on here, what we offer, what we do. And as you know, she'll always have informative segments beyond the farm here and just the world in general, or within the country borders of different segments, and nice pieces, that informative pieces that of course she'll say, oh, that, Mike. Well, yeah. Sometimes I pretend to know it, but I learn a lot from it as well. So it's been a great way to really get our message out and exactly what's going on here. And it's on a daily basis, and sometimes, multiple times a day, because it does change, as we know. And with the uncertainty of what's going on here, it's just been a great way to assure everyone how we handle things here, and that we have not taken it lightly whatsoever.
Sure. No, yeah, I completely agree. She's done a tremendous job in the social media, even prior to this. Right. But even more so now, I think it's more important to be visible there for your customers. Let's change gears a bit and talk about gardening. What are you seeing in the garden center side of your business now?
So it's been a really nice feel that people are having a sense of hominess now, and that they want to be home. They want They want to do things out in their yard. They want to take pride in their garden spaces again. And what goes along with that is obviously a lot of people have been homebound and they haven't been able to go to work. Another great thing to see that we've had some time to spend. I mean, yes, we're working, but I've had a wonderful time spending with my children, my wife, being able to be there all the time. And I marvel sometimes to think, wow, this is really in an unfortunate set of circumstances. It's a special time, and I hope that people now are really feeling that sense of family, because it's nice to see that. I think a lot of times gets lost because of our busy lives and, you know, the way society has us tugged in different places. So people really are coming in, and we did open up our greenhouse a week ago, and we're just monitoring, keeping people limited to, you know, half a dozen at a time, and keeping the social distancing with the mask, and ask that they follow all the same practices that we're doing. And it's been well received, and it's been busy, and people are really looking to get out there and beautify their homes, and it's a really nice thing to see.
Yeah, people are. It makes sense, right? They're home more often than they're looking around like, man, I really got to address this mulch, or oh wow, I need to replant those trees. So it's a good thing for your business.
Exactly. Well,
us included in that. So,
and you know, and a touch on the same subject somewhat. You know, back after World War I, we saw the initiation of the Victory Garden, and it was again emphasized after World War II. And now I see that same emphasis being put on that home garden, and it's just been a really, really nice thing to see. And you know, and if everybody doesn't know what a Victory Garden was, well, it was something that was formulated after World War I, and it gave people the sense to be able to sustain and grow their own food and be self-supportive, and it gives us a great sense of pride when you see something planted as a seed growing out of the ground and you're able to harvest it and actually put it on your dinner table. Well, that's quite an accomplishment.
Absolutely, it's the silver linings here that we identify through these tough times. You touched upon this earlier about some of the changes that you foresee as being long-term. You know, some economists, they caution that shifts in how we do business might be temporary, but what do you see as possible long-term or permanent changes in your business potentially?
So I think this change is going to be here for a time frame that maybe some of it will stay the same and not go back to the way things were. And I'm and it's not all bad. It's a lot of good that I think that we can take away from this. And I think what I touched on before about the people having a sense of security, knowing they're coming in here, or they're able to come by and get a curbside pickup with you know, fresh produce or the other items that we sell, that whether it be the dairy products or, you know, our own fresh eggs from our chickens, that they were safe handled. And I think it's become a very nice convenience for them also. And I think looking down the road, this could be the new norm for a while. And you know, things have developed over the last several decades that have changed the way people shop, the way people live, and the convenience of how they shop. We, you know, back in the earlier days in the 70s, grocery stores, there was nothing open on Sundays. And then we started opening Sundays, and then we knew it as 24 hours. So people didn't really have to have much commitment to think about how they were going to do things, because the convenience was always there that they could go out. Now people have kind of, since we've had to shelter a little bit, they have more time to think about how they're going to plan things out and how they're going to plan their day out. And this service that we're able to offer right now, as many others are with the curbside pickup, people are really liking it and feeling good about it. So I think it's going to be a new wave that may stay for a while.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And again, to those that are joining us on the webinar, feel free to submit any questions you might have to Mike through the chat feature there located at the bottom. Now's your chance as we're kind of winding down here. So on a just as a on another completely unrelated note, I wanted to take a moment to thank you on behalf of my father. He said every Christmas time that he goes to Halas and gets the Stand Straight feature, right, for the Christmas trees. I say I'm thanking you because he claims that it has saved his marriage with my mom, because the amount of arguments and debates as to whether or not the tree was staying straight during the install time has gone away now because of the Stand Straight feature. And I feel like you and your team were like one of the first to have that feature. It just seems like it's revolutionized the installing process of Christmas trees, and I'm sure my parents are not the only marriage that's been saved as a result of that. So thank you for that. Yeah. Let's see here. We just got a question from Kay. Are the farm share options online? She just asked for you guys farm share.
So the farm share, unfortunately, our farm share as we know it, that members sign up on the off season, and it starts when our harvest starts typically in June and runs consecutive weeks after that for 16 weeks. It is closed right now, unfortunately, because we had a large amount of support that really wanted to sign up for it. So we did have to close it. But, similar items will be available. We always have plenty of produce available, and that will be available right through for curbside pickup, because right now we don't see the produce side of it opening back up anytime soon. So it will be curbside pickup. I think we are going to do an outside venue with the produce this season. So people will be able to do that, like a farmer's market, like many people will go to in different towns. And so there'll be plenty of produce available from our garden. And after I get off with you, I got to get back on that tractor and get out there so we can all make this happen. But there will be plenty of our own fresh produce available, and it is unfortunate we're not able to take on any more members, but we appreciate all the support.
Well, that's a good problem, if you will, to have, that there was such a high interest in it. So congratulations to you and your team for that. I know we were participating this year as well, my parents too. So we look forward to that.
Hopefully we meet your expectations.
I'm sure you will. So Mike, look, I know, like you said, you got to kind of get right back out there and on the tractor. So I appreciate you taking time with us today. Again, thank you to you and your entire team for all that you do. You guys are on the front lines there, making sure that our community is being fed, and that does not go unappreciated. So thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
PJ, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to speak with you and everyone out there, and appreciate all the kind words and all the support. Appreciate all the support from the community. I just want to say, from dropping off gloves and masks to meals for the team here, my family, and my wife is a wonderful cook, but at the end of the day, she doesn't have much left in the tank to be preparing too many meals. So that's been a wonderful outpour of support for us, and I really want to thank each and every one that has done something for us, because it's really meant a lot and it's really heartfelt. So
that's great.
Thank everyone for that.
I love to hear that. All right, and I just want a quick shout out to Amelia, our communications director, helping us get all the information out to our businesses and our members. So we appreciate your hard work, Amelia. And Friday, so 2 days from now, we're actually going to be hosting your neighbor right down the road, Doug Palestena from the Amber Room. He's the owner of the Amber Room. We'll touch base with him and see how things are going with his team at the Amber Room and the hospitality industry. So Mike, thanks again. Appreciate taking time. Best to you and your family, and stay healthy and stay well. Take care.
Same to you, BJ. Thank you.